Hello everyone, welcome back. I've got some new boots to show you guys. These are Vietnam era jungle boots. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before. I've heard of them before. I've never had a chance to try them out. And I recently said, hey, let's get a pair and try these out. So let's talk about some of the interesting characteristics that make these specialized jungle boots. So the first thing you're going to notice is the tread, right? If you look at the tread over here, the treads are really wide. Okay. The problem, like if you're using like the typical type of treads that you find, let's say on working boots, the treads tend to be a little bit thinner, and what they do is they hold mud. So a lot of times, I don't know if you guys can. I'll point the camera down. So a lot of times when I'm walking through the woods with like these work boots over here, right, that have the typical treads that look like that. Well, whoops, bounce. I'm on very uneven ground here. Uh, the mud basically gets caught up inside of the treads, okay? And what happens is, as I'm walking, my boots end up weighing like, twice as much, right? Because I'm picking up all that extra dirt as I'm walking. So these treads are designed not to hold on to the mud and dirt and other stuff that you would be finding in the jungle. And basically, it's just gonna fall out. So as you're walking through the mud, it's not gonna retain mud in here and make your feet really heavy. Okay. Now these are very soft, right? This rubber over here is very soft. If I was to use this, let's say on a hard pavement, I would probably wear this out within like a couple of weeks. Okay, so this is definitely something that you only want to be wearing in the forest where you're walking on really soft ground. Okay, so you got the wide treads to allow the mud to fall off the bottom of the boots, but there's still some traction, right? You still got some teeth here to give you some traction. Now the other interesting characteristic of this is, first of all, it's not waterproof. Okay, it's not waterproof. In fact, they've actually got little holes over here. Okay, so that the water can leak out. Right. So this is canvas over here that allows the water to go in, and as you're walking through it, it's going to be squishing out through these holes over here. And the reason why they designed it this way is because when they tried to make a boot that was waterproof, right, in a hot environment, well, yeah, you can make the boot waterproof, but now you end up basically with a foot fungus because your feet are sweating inside of your boot in a hot environment, and basically that would cause those type of problems, right? You would end up with a foot fungus. So what they figured out that, rather than trying to keep the water out of the boot, they figured that it was better to just let the water get into the boot and just give it a way to get out. And in a jungle environment, it's hot enough that it has a chance to dry, right? So if you get back to base, you take these off, you leave these out in the sun for a little bit, they'll dry out. So that was the mentality with the jungle boots. It doesn't keep the water out, but there's a way for the water to get out once it gets in there. Okay, so that's a very interesting concept that they came up with, and of course it's very light because you got a lot of canvas here. It's almost like those old Converse All Star sneakers. That's what this kind of remind me of. The one thing that I guess I would have, because I'm used to walking through the forest with work boots that give you ankle support. You're probably not going to get great ankle support with these. I've got to try them out. I haven't even tried these on yet. I wanted to show them to you guys before I try them on today. So a very interesting idea that they came up with back in the 60s. And let's see, if I did find this on Amazon. It says Fox Outdoor Products, combat spec built. All right, and says Vietnam jungle boot, Panama sole, vulcanized to leather. Panama sole, vulcanized to leather, and canvas upper with nylon trim. Built-in steel shack shank, built-in steel shank for added durability. That's actually, I'm glad I was actually reading for that because I forget about that. But yeah, there's a thin layer of like kind of like steel, but really thin. The idea is that back in the Vietnam days, the Vietnamese uh, army and the Viet Cong, what they would do is they would basically put punji sticks, like sharp sticks, in the jungle, so that when you would step on them, a sharp stick would basically impale your foot. So what they did is they put like a thin layer of metal basically in the sole of the the bottom of the boot, so that if you do, because this is soft rubber, but if you step on a sharp stake, right, it's not going to penetrate the bottom of the boot, or at least it's not going to penetrate a whole lot. I mean, obviously, if you jump on it from a high enough position, I'm sure that it will penetrate. If you but if you're just casually walking through the jungle carefully and you step on a stake, it's not gonna impale your foot. So yeah, that's the built-in steel shank for added durability. Um, Designed after the boot worn by GI troops during the Vietnam era. Okay, so size 11, Vietnam boot, olive drab. That's the name of this. Okay, so yeah, I thought this would be very interesting to share with you guys. It's something I've known about for a while, and I've been wanting to get and try it out. As far as the price, it will range anywhere from like $35 to $100+ for the same boot. And the reason for that is because of I guess imperfections. Because I got the $35 one, right, and I can see here that yeah, there's some mild imperfections in the in the rubber over here. So I'm guessing that's why this one was this one was $35 versus the other ones that they offer that are like the exact same thing from the exact same company, and those are $100. So when you're finding these $35 ones, there's going to be mild imperfections, which is fine if you just want to get a pair and just try them out and see how they feel, and have a little fun in the jungle with them. Okay. Other interesting thing is I also got me a jungle boonie. Okay, and jungle boonie hat. And there's a purpose to this, right? The purpose to this is it basically changes the shape of your head. Because if you take the hat off, right, or if you wear a cap, or if you wear like a battle helmet, basically you have a shoulder, right, and a ball on top. So you basically are looking at a ball with like a line underneath it, right? So that's a very distinguishing characteristic. But when you put the boonie hat on, okay, at a distance, right, this now changes the shape of your head. And there's like these little, things over here, right? I forgot what you call them in the mesh. Now, you would think that this is to put ammunition, but oops, camera's a little too low. You would think that this is to put ammunition, but no. What you can do is like you can put like brush in there and little pieces of vegetation, and that will also help change the shape of your head. So I think that this was a really cool design, especially if because here's the thing, it's not just the side sticking out, but it's also the back of the neck, and it's also uneven. So it really throws off the shape of your head. So a good piece of camouflage. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to be testing these boots out and this hat, and I'll let you guys know how I feel about it.